All right, hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy. I am back again with another video. I hope that you guys are doing well and I hope that you guys are staying safe. So you guys, today I kind of want to talk about a different topic. I actually got inspiration from a comment that was left on my video, and I just wanted to say, you guys, please continue to keep doing that. It really does mean a lot. Whatever likes, shares, comments, and subscriptions you have, any feedback, I love to hear. It definitely helps with the channel. So let's just go ahead and get right into it, you guys. So the comment was, and I don't mention names. You guys know what this channel is all about, educational purposes, right? So it says, I agree, you got to protect your peace. There's even fam that I have went no contact with for mad years. There's a lot of generational trauma, not sure if that's the correct term, like toxic cycles passed down. I needed better for myself. I feel like I have saved my life. So I love that comment so much, and I want to say that was on my latest video that I had did in regards to talking about should we have the narcissist around us, or narcissistic people around us after we have healed or we're healing. And so I feel like the generational trauma is a huge concern, and it's a huge issue for a lot of former victims and survivors, due to the fact that a lot of them, people that have been abused by narcissists grew up around narcissistic people or family members, or maybe it was associates, or people that were their friends, childhood friends and stuff, and that sort of nature. So I kind of wanted to dig deeper in regards to the generational trauma, because it's not really talked about. So I think that would be a good topic for all of us to learn. Okay, so you can just kind of go on Google if you want like a reference, but it says here, generational trauma is trauma that extends from one generation to the next. It begins when a group experiences a traumatic event that causes economic, cultural, and familial distress. In response, people belonging to that group develop physical or psychological symptoms. So, an example of generational trauma, it could say, for instance, children who grow up in homes with domestic violence and experience childhood trauma may develop anxiety or depression as adults. They may also have trouble trusting people or forming intimate relationships. This cycle of unresolved trauma can affect generations to come. And it just says, for instance, like some symptoms of the generational trauma here. And like I said, you guys can go on Google, if you just want further information in regards to that. But it says some other signs of generational trauma can include dissociation, or a sense of detachment or disconnection from your body, difficulties expressing or experiencing emotions, not connecting with others or forming relationships, having isolation, concerns or issues, feelings of shame, guilt, helplessness, or vulnerability, and trouble regulating moods. And so it also, the question is how trauma gets passed down through generations. It says trauma can leave a chemical mark on a person's genes, which can be then passed down to future generations. This mark doesn't cause a genetic mutation, but it does after the mechanism by which the gene is expressed. This altercation is not genetic, but it looks like this is epigenetic, or something like epigenetic or something like that. I hope I'm saying it right. So I hope that is helpful to you guys. This is more of an educational and something that I'm learning myself, because you guys know that we know the generational curses, which is kind of like more of the same. But again, there's generational trauma, and I feel like the generational curses is pretty much if something negative or something maybe disappointing or something that could have damaged a particular generation, they never really healed from that, and so they pass it down to the next, people, children, grandchildren, stuff like that. And the trauma is more, a particular event, a particular experience, or a particular circumstance that has happened. And again, the trauma is there. There's no healing done. There's no inner work that has been done. and there's no introspection, and it hasn't been recognized as, hey, this is a problem here. You guys get what I'm saying? And so, you know, that's where the trauma lays at, and that's where it relies. And, you know, it just doesn't get resolved, unfortunately. And it just, you know, because certain family members can be in denial and say, hey, you know what, there's no problem here, you know, and they pretend like everything is fine. And so that's how some people can get caught up in the generational trauma as well as the generational curses. So I hope that that makes sense, you guys. I also just wanted to touch on real quick, I wanted to touch on this, you know, so if you're wondering how do you start to work towards breaking the generational trauma, one of the things is, like I said, you can visit Google for further information, but it says the first step is you are the key step into the healing journey. You know, like we always talk about, it says acknowledge trauma in your family history, set, you know, goals, saying like, hey, I want to heal from this trauma. You know, you may have to even talk to your family members if they're open to it. You know, some of them could be stubborn, some of them could live in denial, some of them, you know, live in an illusion, and so they may not want to admit it, so that can be a little bit more difficult. So at that point, you know, you would have to kind of do the healing journey on your own, per se, you know, which could mean, you know, being around like-minded people, or joining support groups, or, you know, talking to a coach, a counselor, therapist, or a narcissist abuse coach, or something like that, you know, in that regards. And also, you know, if you do have children, you're going to have to parent differently from what you saw your parents or great grandparents do, you know. You also have to resolve the childhood trauma, and again, you know, seek professional help and be patient. You get what I'm saying? So but yeah, I hope that was helpful, you guys, and made sense. You know, I didn't want to drag this on for too long, but, you know, it's always just good to acknowledge, you know, things that we have to work on our healing journey and recovery, and just understand that, you know, a lot of people are hurt. Unfortunately, a lot of people are in pain, and, you know, some people don't know where to go, they don't know who to turn to, and some people could just feel really lost. Some people could feel very isolated, especially, you know, if you've been hurt by family members or people that was close to you, whether it's friends or co-workers or, you know, even a romantic partner. But when it's family, that's a little bit more hurtful, because, you know, especially if you're not like adopted, or, you know, you didn't grow up in a foster home or a group home, it can hurt a little bit more, because you could think like, oh, they were supposed to have my back and they didn't. They were supposed to have my best interest, and it just wasn't there, unfortunately. But the beautiful thing is that once you do kind of come to that realization that, you know, you are experiencing generational curses or generational trauma, then that's when you can kind of go towards God, and God can be the one to become like your mom and your dad. But you really have to, you know, surrender to God, like everything, and rely on God, like God being your provider, if that makes sense. Like God wants for you to talk to him every day and get to know him, and, you know, he wants a relationship with you. God wants an intimate relationship, just like you have a relationship with, like, you know, a friend or an associate or your mom or your dad. God wants that type of relationship with you, and that's how I was able to kind of like start on my healing journey. I had to build my relationship with God. Like, that was one of the key main factors of like my healing journey. So anyway, I hope that this video was helpful and insightful. I would really love to know what was your takeaway. Again, you guys, please keep leaving topics and comments and subscriptions. Share this video with someone, share this channel with someone if you think it can help them and bless them, and all that good stuff. So anyway, I love you guys, and if you guys would like further support from me, please feel free to visit my website, or you can send me an email, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Bye.